Okay, Baba, we left off on chapter 16 of the Ashtabakra Gita titled Special Instruction, and we were on verse 7. Desire is the root of, of indiscrimination. As long as it persists, there will be attachment or aversion to objects of the world, which is the branch and bud from which the tree of samsara, worldly involvement, sprouts. In your comment, when there is desire, wanting and not wanting, one binds themselves to samsara. By getting married, one does not get bound to samsara, and by becoming a monk, one would not have sacrificed samsara. Mental attachment decides whether one is in bondage to samsara or not. Worshipping God, one's mind could be wandering wildly in the world of desires. For another, while moving in the world, they consciously could be abiding in the self.
Yeah, that's what we tried to tell. Desire means a person can go mad after the world. So he can lose the concentration on the self. That is one reason when imaginations occur in the mind and the forgetfulness of the self has happened. So to this we have to restrain ourselves. If we try to go according to our needs, whatever is a basic need is there, we have to go in this world. But then we have to practice acceptance. Today I am able to eat something that is tastier for me. Tomorrow the illness may not allow me to eat any such thing. At that time have a satisfaction and try to change and adapt accordingly. Means here adjustment and management comes finally. So thus you can stay away from so much of strong desires which shall not bind us to this world. Our dependence, we should not feel scared and panic that, oh, what will happen if I don't get a glass of milk now? So it need not be so much. Something else we will be able to drink. If not, milk, some buttermilk or some tea or some coffee, anything what's available, we'll see, which is not harmful to the body. Like that, we should be able to adjust and accept to the things. So that's what Ashtavakra tells. Okay, as long as we don't bind ourselves. And also, we have commented, simply by becoming a monk, one doesn't get liberated from all desires. A desire can come anytime to anybody. Simply by being a householder also, there is no need that one will always have a desire. One can achieve satisfaction, contentment, and acceptance. All these things can come to any human being who practices meditation and spiritual sadhanas. That's the basic idea of telling this commentary.
So, Baba, it says, that desire creates attachment or aversion. Um, what what causes attachment and aversion? I mean, a desire, but desire
And
is a natural thing that arises in everybody.
yeah, an attachment occurs when we totally depend on that thing for which we are desiring. If that thing is not available, it would appear to us as if the world is collapsing, the mountain is on our head, something like that. So Swamiji used to tell sometimes when people used to come with problems or any such things not happening in life, what to do. So he used to tell, you are not going to be hanged in the morning. Why are you worrying so much? That type of thing will not happen. But the mind goes into such worry. Oh God, there is no milk, there is no coffee, I cannot live, as if many people, when they are habitual. So that type of desire. So I have other places, I have also tried to tell, having a desire itself is not a problem. Ability to accept if it doesn't happen, if it happens, finally that's how. Like in a battlefield, a soldier accepts if death comes, if it is not victory, no problem. He will have the satisfaction he fought for it. Like we try for whatever desire is there, till the last breath you can try. But if it doesn't happen, simply accept then so that your mind can recede and become quiet. So that is important to take us out of the bondage, attachment. That's what the attachment you are talking.
Why does desire arise in the first place?
One thing, the mind is looking for the same peace that it had enjoyed by remaining in the self, a part of the self. And also, body's nature is like that. Body urges, so it needs many things to sustain itself. First thing, it needs oxygen to sustain itself. It needs water. It needs some food and all these things. Anything else, then when we come across the world, then we would like to have it for our pleasure, for our leisure, any such things. So because of these reasons, attachment occurs. Then we become attached to that one. Oh, without this, it's not possible for us to stay. So like that, the attachment comes along with the desire.
So, Baba, what you're saying though is that the desire is not the problem; it's the attachment to the desire that causes.
Yes, ready to accept. If it doesn't happen, just accept it. If it happens also, don't get excited. Tomorrow it has happened, tomorrow it may not happen. So like that, just keep your mental equilibrium at peace. That is the most important thing, acceptance, what we call it, so that you are not troubled, you are not binding. Attachment is that you bind. Oh, without this glass of milk, I cannot live. You want to bang your head onto the wall if you don't get it. Like small kids do stubbornly trouble mothers. I want this. I need to have, like that. So that's what the attachment occurs, and the trouble also comes. We bind ourselves, so then we become miserable if we don't get it.
So, Baba, when self-realization is attained and a person becomes a yogi, are they free of desire? Do they have desire, or are they just free of the attachment?
They won't have such desires continuously arising. Simply a basic need of a body, like we'll feel hungry. At that time, if anything is available, but then we would like to have that which is permissible for our health. So that type of a basic need to sustain, but not too much of body urges will be entertained. That shall not come at all, because of the mind remaining in the self all the time. Simply a basic need to sustain the body. A need of the oxygen would be there, a need of some water, need of some food, like the basic needs, that is all. More than that, there will not be any such desire that we need to have this big car, I need to have an helicopter, I need to have a big bungalow. That type of any worldly desires will not occur at all. It never comes even.
So, Baba, if you've attained, risen above attachment, aversion, the whole thing of dualities, pleasure and pain, happy and sad, and you're in supreme peace all the time, what use is the body? Why would someone want to preserve the body?
Yeah, just to preserve the body for a while so that it can be helpful to others. We can serve the mission of the Guru. To sustain only basic needs only we take, otherwise there is no need. If it's available, we might have an ice cream also, but if it's not available, there is no craving. That's the example. No craving that we must have it.
Okay, Baba, verse 8, from activity, attachment arises. From avoiding action, aversion arises. That wise one, established in the self, is childlike, free of the pairs of opposites. And then in your commentary, you say, Uh, a yogi is a person with the wisdom of self-knowledge, free from the dualities of likes and dislikes. A yogi is like a child without any ideas of good or bad, of attachment or aversion. Yogis have no resolutions in their mind. Um,
Yeah, you see, uh, there is no hours that we do not participate in any action at all. Like this mission. So you ask, okay, would you like to do the Zoom? Yeah, we suddenly we remember, yeah, so many people must be waiting that for 2 months we didn't do it. We must do it. So we are not averse to doing an action. If nobody contacted and nothing happened, quietly we'll be in a corner. So at peace, nothing happens. Why this Zoom is not happening? That also doesn't come. Why it should not happen also doesn't come. If somebody reminds, if it is there, then we come. So that is what happens. So either way, there is no like or dislike. There is no we can be active bodily. Bodily, we would try to be minimum active. Too much of involvement, indulgence into the world can drag you back. But a self-realized yogi will never do that one. He would not be attracted to any of such activities. So just like other day, yesterday, some people were sitting. So they were asking me, have you visited this place in Australia? I said, okay, I don't go to Australia or America to visit places. I just go, I remain at the host's place, and then I'm taken to the venue to do the program. We do the program or a retreat, then I am back at home in my room. At the most, I might come into the drawing room of the host's home if they are more friendly, known people. Sometimes I might just come. More than that, I don't go to any place. I don't need to see Niagara Falls or any such things. Nothing. I don't see United Nations buildings also. I don't need to see any. I never had any such desires that I need to go out and see because I have come to America many times. Hundred of times in these 25 years I'm visiting America also. People have wondered, you haven't seen this, you don't go anywhere else in America. Such a good chance that you go to America, you must visit this place, you must visit that place. I don't get any such desire. I just go to teach meditation, conduct retreats. That is fine. If I'm in the Anand Ashram, I'm in the Anand Ashram, that's all. Don't go out anywhere. Only for a walk, I have to go a little bit and then come back. More than that, there is nothing else for me to see. I tell them, I have seen that thing, after seeing which there is no need to see anything. That is the ultimate truth experienced. That is the greatest wonder, the most attractive. Nothing else can be as thrilling as that it is, as awesome of the ultimate truth in this world, entire universe, Milky Ways, galaxies. I would tell that.
yeah, Baba, that's back to what you used to say that supreme peace is beyond bliss. And if bliss is the supreme happiness, uh, once you're beyond all and above happiness, above bliss, uh, in that supreme state, I guess the world can be interesting, but not very attachment worthy. You know, we take you around. We try to always take you to interesting places, and you seem to always be happy and cheerful, and uh, no matter where
If
you
you
are.
remember, with great difficulty, you have to drag me. If it is that too, if it is a solitude, a trekking in the forest or a waterfall,
Yeah.
that is all not to marketplaces ever.
No, 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 no. We don't take it. We have no interest. We realize that Baba's never going to go there, so we try to find secluded, beautiful, remote spots and
Yeah.
uh, away from people, usually. So, Baba, uh, what's yogis have no resolutions in their mind. How to how did you get on this call without a resolution? How do you function? How do
It
you function in
requires
the world?
a fraction of an imagination which will not actually go into a resolving things. Means, suppose you write to me, would you like to do the Zoom? Yeah, I am available. That is all. After that, I don't keep thinking. For some reason, internet destabilizes or electricity goes. Only I have to feel sorry for those people who would be anxiously waiting for Baba to appear. So that is all. Otherwise, there is no other resolution. If it doesn't happen, we apologize, but due to these technical reasons, I couldn't come on. Like that. There is no such a resolution level of imagination is not there. For this, a little bit of conscious touch into the brain is good enough. You don't have to resolve. Means when resolve means, or I'll try to tell. So once you resolve, it must happen under any circumstances, at any cost. So that's what the resolution. You resolve that it must happen, otherwise you will be restless. You will bang your head, type, oh God, you will curse everyone. Why is the electricity has gone? I would like to kill that person. This type of thing doesn't happen if any desirous thing doesn't comes in.
And you're holding an imagination with a resolve. You're holding imagination so you can't be in the moment. But really, when you're completely in the moment, there is no resolution. There's just the awareness of the present. Is that correct, Baba?
Yeah, that is the final thing. When you are in the moment, so no resolutions happen. You ask a question and answer comes. You want to meditate, I ask you to meditate. That's it.
But Baba, when you make a resolution, the consciousness seems to automatically provide to fulfill that resolution. Let's say you have a strong desire, you make a resolution, and then the means to fulfill that seem to spontaneously arise from consciousness, or within the mind.
You see, for me, a minimum necessary imagination is required because I don't have any such desires. Simply I come on to the Zoom and teach meditation, or if I come to your country like you invite, we come, we sit with people, conduct retreats, answer the questions, and that is all the imagination to do a guru's work. If at all a desire or a small imagination is there, to do the guru's work. So now to do the guru's work, we need to sustain this body. Sustaining this body also, we will keep it to the minimum. It won't go out of way under at any cost, under any circumstance, no such things. As long as it's possible, we will try to do. So that's what it is. So there is no such a resolution there. Means there is no binding, there is no stubbornness that it must happen.
Okay. All right. Verse 9. One attached to the world wishes to give it up in order to avoid its miseries. But that one who is free of all attachment is free from those miseries, even if he's moving in the world. And you comment, often detachment's misunderstood as physically sacrificing the world. Seekers want to avoid the world to get rid of sorrows. A yogi is free from all attachments and does not feel miserable. Their attention is always on the self. Only abiding in the self gives supreme peace. Whatever the surroundings are, he remains at peace.
When I commented, I have tried to emphasize it's in the mind. Detachment or sacrifice has to happen in the mind only, not physically in this world. You don't have to give up a home or any such thing, your way of life, nothing. You are not miserable because it doesn't register in your mind as anything serious, reality, any such thing. Just like you would have seen a dream one day before night. If you can reason it out properly, think about the things. It's after all, it was only a dream. Nothing real was there. Then you won't become that miserable. You will remain unaffected. In the same way, when a yogi would have experienced this entire universe also as an illusion, as a dream type of thing, so he will remain unaffected. He will not become miserable.
Baba, can you talk about that? How the world appears as a dream for the yogi. I mean, some people that are in the dream might think that the yogi has lost his mind or something. And I guess he has.
Definitely. That's why during my teaching, so far I have only emphasized about the impermanence of this world. More than that, I haven't, because it is not possible to demonstrate anything. Through logic, only a little bit explanation can be done, comparing to the dream only. But however, finally, one has to go for an experience. It is an individual experience when you go deeper into meditation and achieve the samadhi. Before the samadhi, when the merger is happening, so this experience comes, the mind consciousness. Now it would have become consciousness. It is no more mind. It would realize everything was created by me in different potencies, whatever it is. Presently, as the mind, your potency may be 10. So when it was with its 100,000 potency, whatever it would have created, and it would have created itself also into the creation. Just like in the dream also, you see so many characters, they are all your own consciousness, because you are seeing and nobody else is seeing. Then you are seeing all those characters also from outside those bodies. Inside the body also you, outside that body also it is you only. So like that you get to see like this. Here also you will realize that when we are in the world, we were here because we considered it as a reality. We were too preoccupied. So much got sucked consciously. That's why that effect happened to us. Once that got detached, the mind got detached from the brain's reflection, then the yogi experiences the disappearance of the world, and then when he comes out of samadhi, it will appear. But he will be sure for once for all, this was only the dream that we saw. The same thing it is, nothing is real. Because instead of going into these things to confuse people, I keep talking, at least you understand it as impermanent. It is definitely an unreal imagination, an unreal dream that has happened. So just all the examples are there in front of everyone. Your mind is there, which has created the world. When you are awake also, your mind will be working with its own world. A world is there in your mind, but it is not real. It is there because of your own imaginations. And the dream is there. Dream also is there because of the mind goes into a collusion with the brain, and the brain decodifies and produces a picture. So whatever the mind was habitual, so that picture gets produced. When you get up, you realize you were only dreaming. Nothing was real actually. But during the time of dream, you cannot realize that you are dreaming. It appears so solid and real. So based on all these examples, if one can apply the wisdom, they can understand at least there is something is there in this world, if not 100%. So then you have to meditate and achieve that samadhi level of quietening the mind. Samadhi level means samadhi, no need to imagine as something which has 2 horns or 10 heads, nothing. It's your own mind getting more concentrated. So when it going towards samadhi level means imagine the amount of concentration. In this world, an ordinary human being who can exercise the best focus and concentrated efforts to apply the brains comes to be known as a genius. And such people have achieved so much. So if this is the power of this mind, imagine when it goes and is merging with its highest consciousness, how much power it will acquire. But at that time, the same detachment and the realization that everything is only a dream, which will not give us any permanent peace, only the self. So it also realizes, for my existence, I do not need anything else. I do not need this body also. So this has to be experienced by any individual finally to have a firm belief means firm experience. Till then, one has to take the logical example that the master tells like this. In scriptures also, in Yoga Vasistha, he has explained so much, so many times of how the mind imagines and the things appears to be so. Hypnotizing effects have been explained in Yoga Vasistha with stories. So all these things have been explained. So that is all the possible that one can give an example and try to explain.
Yeah, because Baba, that's a state of being. It's not a state of mind. There's not a thought.
Exactly. It's not born out of the mind's imagination. It is beyond the mind's imagination, state of being.
So as the mind, they have to quiet the mind, silence the mind, and then what's left is your own consciousness of existing.
Yeah, that is the first thing we insist. First job, your job is to achieve silencing of your mind. Then the secrets of the mind is revealed automatically. You will be able to become aware. You will be able to see when you get connected to the consciousness of existence. Just now it is there, but you are scattered with other imaginations. So you are unable to 100% get connected to that consciousness of existence. That's why this problem. Once you get connected, then you start going towards the higher consciousness.
Thank you, Baba. Okay, verse 10. True knowledge is that state where the imagined individual self, the ego, no longer exists. One who holds even the thought of I am liberated or a sense that the body is mine still has ego and has not attained that. Your comments. A self-realized yogi will never have any ego. A seeker who has ego about liberation or that he is liberated has not obtained true knowledge. The knowledge of such people is not complete. They can never be a yogi. Nowadays, overnight, people declare themselves to be incarnations of gods and goddesses. They use their wits and logic to prove themselves and belittle others. They are nowhere near the ultimate truth of self-realization. They are ignorant, egotistic, and arrogant.
They are nowhere near to the ultimate truth. That's what I have told.
So Baba, the ego is that sense that you're an individual and not a kind of a universe.
Yeah. To be precise, God never thinks that God is God.
Right.
I'm not using he or she so that people should not go on imagining in their own way.
Mhm.
Divinity doesn't imagine that divinity is divinity.
Bobby, you use that term, the knowledge. The knowledge of people is not complete. So the knowledge means self-knowledge, awareness that you're the consciousness of existence, or the awareness that's watching the consciousness of existence.
One is first knowledge into the mind that it is boundless.
Mm.
Another, then final knowledge, you are totally merged with that oneness One single self is there. You are neither the ocean nor the droplet. You are neither the divinity nor the devotee. You are neither the seeker nor the sought. So all disappears. Seer and seen, everything disappears. Dualities disappear. And any imagination about ourselves also disappears.
Bubba, what's that state called? That kind of in-between state where it's given up all the imaginations except that it's aware of itself, but it is aware of itself, and then before it goes beyond that. What's that state, in-between state? Is that just
Many people have used different terminologies, Turiya Avastha and peaceful. Any terminology has to be given, but that also amounts to an imagination. Means where there is no idea at all, no imagination at all is there. Not even the I or any idea of existence, nothing is there.
okay? Verse 11. Even if the gods, Shiva, Vishnu, or Brahma, become your teacher, until you forget everything, you cannot become settled in the true self. Your comments. The master recommends and advocates to the disciple that the self is supreme. Even if other gods or goddesses come and advocate any other path, the disciple can never have self-realization. Mentally, one must get rid of all such imaginations of form and formlessness, even all-pervasive, omnipotent, omnipresent, and achieve total silence of the mind. Then only, going introverted, the mind merges with the real self by abandoning all cravings and remains in the self with total contentment. As long as there is one iota of imagination in the mind, it will always revolve around an individually imagined self which does not exist. Only when the mind gives up everything and regains its form as pure consciousness will it then be possible for it to merge in the self and establish itself there totally contented. This is a yogi who is liberated while alive. After dropping the physical body, will become one with the ultimate truth. Well, there's a lot there, Baba. Could you comment?
Yeah, this is a very beautiful verse that we could comment like this. It is a self-realized status mean which has no imaginations. Every individuality would have gone. The imagination of the I would have gone. And this status is impossible to imagine by the application of intellectuality by anyone. You have to rise to that level only, because it is neither something nor nothing. It is neither there nor not there. It doesn't belong to either of the dualities. No name and no explanation. Nothing. It is not nothing also. It is neither something nor nothing. So that life of it will be maddening. Go on and on, try to understand. Just that's it. It's because everything we have used in this world to use a word either positively or negatively. Either it has to be there or it has to be not there type of understanding only is there for the world today. In all other fields, people cannot even visualize or understand, become aware that there can be something beyond this. They can understand only either it has to be there or it doesn't have, it is not there. That is all.
Excuse me, Baba, your voice is breaking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Initially it broke, but I could hear you again. Means I'm trying to tell this Tetati is beyond any dualities. You cannot tell that it is there. You cannot tell it is not there. What I was trying to tell, in this world, in all field like science, technology, educational, art, anything, we are used to recognize things, one of the dualities. If it is not there, it is not there. If it has to be there, it has to be there. If it is there, it is there. If we tell it is not there, then nothing is there. So only one can be understood by people. Like matter and space is there. Space is understood as a void place. More than that, zero is absolute, absolute is zero. So it could be such illusionary effects that's coming. And the matter is there, and the space is there, but it is nothing. It is just void place. That type of understanding is there. It is a substance, it is an existence. It holds the world. Through that viewpoint, nobody would like to see. So that's what I'm trying to tell. The world has this type of knowledge only. So when we try to explain, it is beyond the dualities of existence and non-existence. That's when sometimes some people argue with me that Buddha has told of Anatman. They misunderstand that he has told that there is no Atman. But what he tried to tell was the truth. He tried to tell that it is neither there nor not there. About the Atman, when the question was asked to him, is it that we are all Atman? He kept quiet and said, you cannot tell that we are the Atman. That is not the final. It is only an imagination to identify for sake of understanding and communication. Always an imagination is done for sake of understanding and communication in that way. And that understanding also will be limited to that duality only. Beyond that, nobody can understand. So he did not tell that there is no Atman. He said it is there and it is not there. It is Atman.
Whoops. We lost Baba. So yeah. So it is, but it's beyond the intellect. It's not, intellect would be it's there, it's not there. I think that's what Baba was trying to explain.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Baba, loud and clear.
Okay, I was talking about Buddha. Some people have tried to argue with me that Buddha has told that there is no Atman. Anatman, he has spoken like that. He has not spoken the word of Atman. He did not say, I have explained to them, Buddha was a self-realized, so he would never have had any one imagination of either it is there or not there. He would have tried to explain to people it is neither Atman nor not Atman type. That means it is neither Atman nor Anatman. Means it is neither the Atman that you are imagining nor the not Atman that anybody would imagine. This could be confusing. I will repeat the sentence.
Beyond
it is
imagination.
neither the Atman that you are imagining nor the not Atman that you might try to imagine. It is beyond any imaginations. So to catch hold of this, one needs to raise oneself to the understanding capability to that level. Until then, the master waits actually. In olden days also, our great self-realized masters, when they would test the student, they would train the student to gain that ability to understand, when they would tell it is beyond, it is neither this nor there. So like then only it will be understood. So not everybody will understand. Otherwise, it can be some other confusion. They will catch hold of one and they start arguing. Babaji never spoke about any Atman at all. He told ki there is no Atman. I never told like that. Like the same thing at one place, when somebody asked, "Does God exist?" They asked Buddha. Buddha kept quiet. He didn't tell anything. Then that person told, "Does it mean that God does not exist?" Simply Buddha said, "Ki, when did I say so? I didn't tell that he doesn't exist. I am not telling that he exists." So that state could be confusing, you see, for
Mhm.
anybody. Even if I answer like this, oh, what this master is answering, it should be either there, either there should be a God or there is no God. That's what the atheist and the theist, I tell ki after a certain stage, both atheism and theism loses its significance because both depend on a belief system, very often making that belief system into an arrogant stubbornness of their own thinking, trying to belittle the other. Like this space is there. You want to call it, it is there, it's okay. You want to call it is not there, it's okay. No problem. No conflict between us.
Yeah,
Like that. People will not understand.
Baba, that's kind of like what you were saying earlier about the no resolutions. Once you resolve, it's there, it's not there, then that sticks in the mind. In either case, it's a thought. Uh, okay, Baba, we have about a few more
15
minutes.
minutes. If you want to allow others to ask, we can do that.
What would you like?
Or
We
you
can
want,
talk more, or would you like to take questions?
or we can finish with this verse only.
We
Take
finished the
another one.
we finished the verse. We can start at chapter 17.
Yeah,
Uh,
that might be more enlightening to participants here. You
okay,
and me discuss.
okay, Baba. There is, Baba, in that the last sentence of chapter 6 or chapter 16, it says the yogi who is liberated while alive after dropping the physical body will become one with the ultimate truth. Well, wasn't he already one with the ultimate truth? Why?
He is already one with the ultimate truth, but when the body is alive, I told a little bit of consciousness is in touch with the brain, but he will remain in total liberated status only. That is how he is known as the Jivan Mukta, liberated while alive. Recognize it like that in scriptures. While the body is still alive. Because as long as this body is alive, everybody will like to recognize it as an individual personality only. So Babaji means this is the one. So that is explained like that. But for a yogi, nothing really matters. Already gone into the sleep, one day the body will perish, that's all. So we soundly asleep type. But when this body goes, means there is no rebirth. To explain that there is no rebirth, they have explained that Videha Mukti. When the body goes, the final total oneness is there and no iota of anything is there else. So to explain something like that, this status has been told in scriptures.
Well, with somebody that hasn't attained self-realization, they can't imagine that level of supreme peace, so they might think that they're enjoying their body and they're enjoying the world. They might look at that as something they don't want to give up.
Yeah, they don't want to give up. That generates desires and attachments. So when death happens to the physical body, brain dies, but the mind spins with those attachments and assumes it continues watching the world. And it assumes next incarnation. It creates its own world. It can be anything. People generally believe when we die, if we are going to be reborn, we will be born in this world only, somewhere near our people. But it is all illusion. There is no such thing that exists. Though we cannot prove it, but that is the truth. When they are reborn, it could be a separate and new world that has got created for them by the resolutions, and they are a separate personality, they would have forgotten everything. Such is the illusion effect that happens if the desires are there. So a yogi becomes a yogi when all these desires are totally burned. That is the tapas, finished. It should not naturally arise at all, effortlessly also. So that is the Jivan Mukta. So he is a little bit touch with the brain, means he doesn't gives it to further cravings will not happen. The mind will not split and go into further thought after thought, thought after thought. So that's smart. You ask this question, this imagination would have come. I don't know where it came also, the source also. Simply the answer has come. Sometimes, occasionally, if I get to listen to the recording of, so I keep wondering how wonderful truth has come, but this is not limited to this. Ultimate truth is much beyond. So only you have to merge. That is all. You cannot go on defining it forever and forever. There is no end like that.
So, Baba, did the creation or bodies, these humans and all of creation, did it come as a result of a desire, or was it just a spontaneous, uncaused manifestation?
Desirous have been shaped this into, so that through such a thing you can enjoy looking for that peace. So you need some media. You see, without this media of the body, you cannot enjoy this world. Even when this body is there, in the mind, you cannot touch anything at all. Still, you enjoy only in the imagination. With the hand, you touch a food and you eat it. But in the mind, you cannot touch any food and you cannot eat it at all. Suppose, if the mind can come out of the body for a while, and it cannot touch even its own body also, it cannot touch any food, even if it can see at all, first of all. So such is the wondrous thing. So you're getting attached consciously or not getting attached at all.
So, Baba, is desire something for a more evolved nervous system? Because did creation begin with desire? It looks like the Rudra just spontaneously comes out. And then it created this
See, in
being
the
that has
beginning,
desires.
we can try to understand a spontaneous thing could have happened. Just like I tell, morning when you're fresh, your mind suddenly starts imagining without your knowledge also. Like that, suddenly it would have started. Then the desires started coming in to further and further and further. In the beginning, when you imagine, then the mind would imagine, if at all I have to imagine, let me imagine the best things. Then it would slip into unhappiness, happiness. Then it would ward up, no, I don't want this unhappiness, I want happiness. Like that, the desires would have arisen. That's what I have explained. The first enormous amount of consciousness arose to create spontaneously, let us assume. Then they became to be known as the concepts of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. They are not personalities. Concept. The portion that which created and did not get involved into that creation, called as Brahma. The one who can create illusion but doesn't get involved, trapped into the illusion. Thus he remained as a divine personality or concept. Vishnu sustaining this widely, the created one. He became to be known as protector, and thus Vishnu also did not get involved with the creation. He remained as a divine concept. Then Shiva, withdrawal back into the self, your existence in total thoughtlessness state, nishcheshtit, without any cheshta. So thus these three figures are always worshipped as divine in the ancient Hindu philosophies also. But then next generation is angels and demons. So their consciousness became involved into needing of power, insecurity, wanting some enjoyment in the world, their imaginations got converted into desires. So thus the demons and angels started fighting. So that's fighting. Then next generation, as the mind, every time it got regenerated or reincarnated, its consciousness became a little scattered and diluted. So imagine now when it would have come to the level of human mind, how much diluted that is. So like that, now, and it is trapped so much into desires. So now to get rid of all this, so you have to go back to that level means that is what is tapas. Your ability to keep quiet during all those times. 1 hour when you meditate, your ability to keep quiet. If 10 hours you are able to meditate in tapas, your ability to keep quiet. Whatever manifests, mental projection happens, anything happens or doesn't happen, never get attracted to anything. Even if it's a divine figure also, don't get attracted. Then you will go towards the ultimate truth. Such is the process of desires arising to overcoming the same desires to go back again. This is how the desires would have got generated, went out of control. And we thought this desire only can fulfill my need of happiness. So that imagination also came. Thus it gave rise to another desire. With the imagination, this desire, if I get it fulfilled, then I will get back my peace. But it didn't happen. Then another desire arose like that, on, and we got trapped and involved.
And the samsara emerged.
Samsara evolved.
So, Baba, I think that's what I was looking for earlier, that imaginations become desires. They eventually develop into desires, and then eventually we reach the desire where we want to know the self, and then that desire, with that, if that's strong enough, and we dedicate ourselves to that,
Yeah.
then we can rediscover the truth. Huh.
That is how hen out of egg out of hen started happening. Desires created attachments, and attachments created desires again. Like that it went on and on. Because there was a desire, an attachment happened to that desire. And then attachment gave another desire. So that is how.
So
Skillfully we have to take out one of them so that the process stops. That is the watching. Let the attachment appear before you, but you don't get attached. Let a desire appear before you, you don't get involved into the desire. Just to watch. Got it, all of you? Just watch.